Hi, Georgetta Gancars here, and today we're going to be using the fan brush. So I'm going to show you what a fan brush looks like. Kind of looks like the shape of a fan. And I'll show you this one. It's a little one. And the cool thing about the fan brush is you can add variety to your paintings. Instead of just using or maybe a round brush that you have, or maybe you have one that's in the shape of a square, this gives you a little bit more of variety because of the movement that you can use in the brush and also the shape of the bristles. So let's get started. So here I have a little bit of white and blue, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my fan brush and I'm going to dip it a little bit in my water. I'm using acrylics, but if you're using oils, you can dip it in your turpenoid, your linseed oil, and you can try this on watercolor paper first to see until you get the hang of it as an exercise, and then you can move it onto a canvas. Okay, so I have my fan brush. Now the thing is, sometimes when you dip it in your solvent, it separates. So if you had it in water, or if you were using turp or linseed oil, so I'm just kind of going like this with my fingers just to get back the shape of the brush, and I achieve it pretty easily. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to take the paint and I'm only going to load it up on the edge of the brush. So you can see it's on the edge of the brush. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this shape. Okay, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to take a little bit of my solvent, which would be my water. I'm going to wipe it off on the rag, and I'm going to pick up some on the edge again of my brush, and I'm going to do the same thing. Drag the brush, and this one was a lot thicker, right? You can see how thick that is. Okay, and then I'm going to do it again one more time. And I put a little bit more solvent in there so you can see how that looks. Okay, so you can get these cool kind of shapes. You can do full circles, half circles. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up some white directly. So now I have blue and white on the end of my brush, and I'm going to go on top of this circle. And I'm going to do the same thing, taking more of my white paint, and I'm going to go on top of this blue. And now I get this. Okay, so I can put a bunch of different colors on top of each other. So in other words, it looks like the colors are mixing instantaneously. It's kind of like you have one color on top of another color on top of another color. So let me show you what I mean. I'm going to now try this. I'm leaving the paint on my brush. Okay, and I'm going to pick up some yellow. So now it's mixing. I have a little bit of green, right? Because the blue's mixing with the yellow. And now I put this on top, and I have this. Okay, and I can keep layering different colors on top if I want to. You can clean your brush, or you can not clean it. I am not going to clean it, and I'm going to show you, and I'm going to put red on top. And I have some red now at the edge of my brush. I still haven't cleaned my brush, and I'm going to go over this with a little bit of red, and I get that, right? I'm going to do it up here. So in other words, you can get these swirling different types of shapes, and I'll show you, because I did it here. That's just blue and white. Now the other thing that you can do is, let's try red and white, and I want to show you how we're going to do this swirling method. And you can put it with any color that you want on your canvas. It doesn't have to be red and white. It could be blue and white. I'm just using these colors because they show up a little bit better on the camera, and you can see the contrast a little bit better. But feel free to experiment with any color that you want. So again, I'm wiping off my brush, and this time I'm going to pick up some white on the edge. And I'm going to do another circle here. And then I'm going to add some red. I have not cleaned my brush. And I'm going to do a circle here. Okay? And you can see those colors. The other thing you can do is that works really well if you want to do water. So, or clouds, and especially if you want to do water or impressionist clouds. So let me show you. This time I'm going to dip my brush in my white and in my blue. So I have two colors on the brush, white and blue, together at the same time. And then I'm going to do these big swoops, and some of them I'm going to blend, and some of them I'm not going to blend. So when you see these kind of impressionist paintings, right, you see how that happens right away. And then what you'll do is you want to cover that. Say you want to make these Van Gogh kind of really expressionist clouds all over the sky, like there's lots of energy and action happening. You can do that with the fan brush. Okay, fan brush becomes your friend in that way. And I'm just doing these swoops where I'm just building it up, and you can start building this up. Now again, this is just for a demo, it's on watercolor paper, but if I want to really start building that up, do you see how I can start adding more white to it, and it changes, and I can just build those colors on top of each other. And that could be like the beginning of a very, very vibrant sky. Okay, I want to show you something else. You can also use it for water. So if you want to paint water and you want to get the effect right away, and you don't want to be using more than one brush, the fan brush is your friend. So what you're going to do is you're going to load up, again, blue only on the tip, and you're going to go across. And I'm just going across, and I kind of get these areas. Some of them are short strokes, some of them I'm doing longer, and I kind of get that, right? And what I want to do is then I want to use a contrasting color, like a dark blue and a white. Say I want to make it look like there's a lot of action happening in the water. So then I put some dark blue, again, on the back of my fan brush, and then I can add that dark blue in there, and I can go in between, and I start building up these areas where it really begins to look like water. And I can blend it at the same time by going back over my canvas lightly, and I start getting these strokes, right? And what I can do is if I want to lighten up, or I want to have light pockets, like say there's light from the sky hitting on the water, maybe it's a bright sunny day, you could put some yellow in there, you could put some white, some light blue. I'm just choosing to put white on my brush, and then I can go back over these areas with some white, and I can start building up the water. And it's a really fast way to do water, where you're starting out and you're kind of getting that idea of where you're building up those waves, and you can keep building on it. You know, you can put different colors on top, and it's very easy to blend. Okay, and I did this one earlier. This one in the bottom was purple, and I did some more swirls here, and this is the water here. The other thing that you can do with the fan brush is you can do some super cool clouds. So let's say this is my canvas, and I'm going to put some blue sky here now. Okay, I got my blue sky, and then I'm going to go with my fan brush again, and I'm going to clean it off, right? I definitely want to get all that water out of there. And I'm picking up my white, and I'm loading it now halfway. It's not only on the end, it's halfway. And then what I'm doing is, this is called wet on wet. And you can see I can make these shapes of these clouds in there. And I can build them up by putting more paint on it, where I see more of the white. And I can keep building that up. I can build it up to the point on this one where I can cover the whole area. Here I covered this whole area and it's all white. I can also use this to do fog. So I'll show you how we're going to do fog in another video. If you're using the fan brush and you want to go over a landscape and you want to make it look very, very foggy. But there's a secret technique that we'll do with that, but I'll show you in that one. But in the meantime, practice using the fan brush going across. Practice doing like clouds, and you can build them up, these like very big impressionist clouds. And practice doing these little kind of half-arched circles. And remember, we did these earlier, okay? So practice doing that, and the fan brush, believe me, when you start building it up and you make all this texture, you're going to see it's such an easy way to get blending at the same time, making linear strokes. If you're using the fan brush just to make a line across the canvas, it's a very easy way to make a line. You get it right away. It's never going to be wrong. Again, it's a way to practice, strokes going across. It's a way to practice blending. It's a way to get instantaneously shapes going across, water, lots of action. So I really recommend getting a fan brush. Okay, see you soon.